Good morning, everyone. And as Rebecca did in her opening remarks, I'd like to begin with a thank you and ask all of you to join me in thanking Rosenthal for 20 years of bringing together journalists, technologists, and scholars to address the problem of journalism. Thank you. Thank you. So after I joined Knight Foundation almost 5 years ago, Alberto Ibargüen, the CEO and president of Knight Foundation and former publisher of the Miami Herald, asked me to travel around the country, asked me to talk to publishers and editors and the entrepreneurs who were creating new models for journalism, such as The Voice of San Diego and Evan Smith right here in Austin at the Texas Tribune. So Alberto thought that it was time that Knight Foundation went back to its roots. Knight Foundation was started by Jack and Jim Knight, two brothers who owned and operated 26 newspapers around the country. And this was right after the innovation report had been published at the New York Times, which broke open a lot of doors that needed to be busted open to bring the transformation that we're all seeing now at the New York Times and so many national news organizations and international news organizations that can scale. However, that same success that we're seeing at the national and international level, we are not seeing across the country in a consistent way. However, what we are seeing are very promising signs, and you're going to hear today from a group of people who are really driving transformational change, who are bringing new ways of storytelling, but most importantly, new ways to make journalism, the business, sustainable. So a few weeks ago, Knight Foundation announced that we are going to be doubling our commitment to journalism with a focus on supporting local news. That amounts to almost $300 million over the next 5 years. And so we're really thrilled. We announced some very important initial investments to Report for America, to the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, which that investment includes adding $10 million more to their endowment that supports local legal assistance for journalists so that there will not be journalists who will be unable to produce outstanding accountability reporting and investigative reporting because they don't have a lawyer for anything ranging from pre-publication review or to challenge that FOIA request. So we're also made investments in ProPublica to support more local investigative reporting. And we have investments coming that will address the very big problem that we continue to have in this country, and that is the lack of diversity in our newsrooms, a lack of focus and commitment to build trust and to serve underserved communities. But today, what I'm really excited to share with you, and then for the discussion, just some real pioneers, people who are making a difference. And so we're going to first hear from Jim Brady. Jim Brady needs no introduction to anyone in this room. Ryan Nave, who's the editor-in-chief of Mississippi Today. Tasneem Raja, who has a really exciting story to tell you from Tyler, Texas, and John Thornton, who is the co-founder with Elizabeth Green of Chalkbeat, and what I think is the most exciting, promising pathway for local news, and that is the American Journalism Project. So let me please introduce you, turn this over to Jim Brady.